Your attention, ladies and gentlemen, with the driver of PDT 1260. Please stand to your vehicle at this time. Again, the driver of PDT 1260. Please stand to your vehicle at this time. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for accepting the invitation to be part of this very wonderful graduation ceremony this evening. Sit back and relax. You will be enjoying the proceedings momentarily. We invite you to gaze at the program that is before you and be informed as to the events that will transpire subsequently. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the procession of the Chairman of the Council of Legal Education. Please be seated.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lord Kitchener Aldwin Roberts Auditorium of the National Academy for the Performing Arts. We are making every effort to ensure that your theatre experience is safe and comfortable. In the event of an emergency during the performance, an announcement will be made and the ushers will escort you out of the building via the exit closest to you to the muster point at the northeastern car park at the entrance of the compound. You are to proceed immediately but calmly. Please take a moment to identify the exit nearest to you. Eating, drinking, and chewing of gum is not allowed in the auditorium. This is also a smoke-free building. Please note that any unauthorized recording of this performance, either through video or photograph, is strictly prohibited. A reminder that all mobile phones and other electronic devices should be turned off at this time.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite you all to stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite to the podium the principal of the Hugh Law School, Ms. Miriam Samaru, who will be doing the introduction to the chairman of the Council of Legal Education.
Good evening. Just a short change in the program. The introduction of the chairman is normally done on the first graduation that she attends. It was done last year. So I will simply introduce the chairman, Ms. Lisselle Weeks, Senior Counsel, Trinidadian, appointed to the Council of Legal Education in 2022. Kindly give a warm welcome to the chairman of the Council of Legal Education.
Mr. Reginald Amo, SC, Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable Judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago, Senior Government Officials, Mr. Justin Simon, KC, today's featured speaker, former Attorney General of Antigua and Barbuda, Ms. Sherma Dalrymple, Director of Public Prosecutions of Dominica, Masters of the High Court, Magistrates, Principal Tonya Bastian Galanis of the Eugene DePooch Law School, and Principal Carol Einer of the Norman Manley Law School, staff, students, tutors, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And welcome to the 2023 graduation ceremony of the Hugh Law School. And let me start by addressing the graduands who will very soon become graduates when you receive your certificates by asking you, how does it feel? How does it feel to be graduating today after 2 seemingly grueling years at the Hugh Law School? And can I ask you how it feels to be celebrating your graduation in tandem with the 50th anniversary of the institution that you're graduating from? How does it feel to know that you are an inextricable part of Hugh Wooding's story and that it is an inextricable part of yours? When I was where you were, I felt accomplished, I felt happy, I felt anxious, I felt determined. And I imagine it was a similar feeling for the staff and students of the Hugh Law School 50 years ago. When they were the first, it was new. They were going to be doing the second part of what was specifically indigenous legal training for the Caribbean, and nobody knew how that would be received, and nobody knew what would happen and whether it would succeed, and nobody thought it would be, at least not that first cohort, nobody was sure where it would go. And I imagine those same feelings are coursing through your veins at the moment. I'm happy, I'm finished, I've done it, it's finished, but then it's just beginning and I'm not sure where it's going to go. So I'm gonna ask you to compare yourself to the Hugh Law School in 1973, if you could, because I think that's exactly where you are now. And when I think about where Hugh would have been in 1973, and how it would have, and all of the staff and the students would have been excited at the new beginning. They would feel a sense of accomplishment at getting started, but they would have felt a sense of uncertainty as to its success, the success of the program, how the school would be viewed, how its certification would be ranked, its capacity to fill its mandate and purpose. But 50 years later, the Hugh Law School is an iconic institution of higher learning in the Caribbean. It is the cornerstone of legal professional development in the region. It's an institution of high esteem. Its program and its certification is sought after for its pedigree, and its staff is of equal pedigree in quality and competence, consistently up to the task of meeting the school's mission through dedication to service and commitment to excellence. So how did the Hugh Law School transition from those tentative first steps to being self-assured and assertive and sure of its identity and status as an institution of renown? Well, it did so, obviously, through its staff and its students, by a firm commitment to the fulfillment of its purpose and objectives, by seeking guidance and requesting assistance from those who would have had the experience because they would have walked that path before. And I'm thinking in terms of the Hugh Law School, the University of the West Indies was where it would have gotten its guidance in its nascent stages because it was new and it didn't know where to go. And so it had to receive that guidance and assistance. And of course, receiving guidance and assistance means that you recognize that you don't know everything, and so there's a bit of humility that's going to be required to do that. By building resilience and being resilient, and those lessons are often learned through setbacks, obstructions, mistakes, and sometimes even small failures. By exercising patience with itself, with the pace of your development and growth, your pace of development and growth, not comparative to anyone else's. By setting a high and uncompromising bar of integrity and ethical conduct. By recognizing the inevitability of change, by accepting change and adapting to change that is unexpected, and by advocating for and innovating towards change yourself. By constant self-audit seeking to improve, improving towards your best self so that you can leave an indelible footprint on the Caribbean legal professional landscape. And by playing well with others, by sharing, by learning from, by teaching partners, siblings, and by siblings in the Hugh context, I mean its sister schools, Norman Manley and EDLS. Sharing, guiding, encouraging, assisting wherever possible. So I've sort of interplayed the two, your experience with the Hugh Wooding experience, but Hugh Wooding is 50 years successful because of those characteristics, and I imagine that there isn't any reason why you can't mirror those characteristics in the trajectory of your own careers as legal professionals. So I want to implore you, as you embark on this journey, to commit to the Hugh Wooding Law School's mission and vision for yourself. To commit to being practitioners who appreciate your responsibility as members of an honorable profession, who recognize the needs of your socio-economic environment, who are inspired in the pursuit of excellence, the maintenance of high ethical standards, the promotion of social justice, and the strengthening of the rule of law. Be apt to learn with patience and humility, because this is the beginning of your journey, and your learning is just beginning. Embrace and adapt change when it is unforeseen, advocate and effect it when it is required, innovate, establish high ethical standards, develop a practice of consistent self-audit and evaluation. And in your interactions with your colleagues, you are free to disagree, but never disrespect. And I will leave you with the words of the Apostle Paul in a letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verses 10, 11, and 12. Be kindly affectioned to one another, not slothful in business, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, and continuing instant in prayer. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Chairman. We will now have the Principal's Address delivered by the Principal of the Hugh Wooding Law School, Ms. Miriam Samaru.
Mr. Reginald Armour, Senior Counsel, Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, Honorable Judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago, Senior Government Officials, Mr. Justin Simon, King's Counsel, former Attorney General of Antigua and Barbuda, and our feature speaker, Ms. Sherma Dalrymple, Director of Public Prosecutions of Dominica, Masters of the High Court, Magistrates, Ms. Lisselle Weeks, Senior Counsel, Chairman of the Council of Legal Education, Mrs. Tonya Bastian Galanis, Principal of the Eugene Dupuch Law School, Ms. Carol Einer, Principal of the Norman Manley Law School, staff of the Hugh Wooding Law School, associate tutors of the law school, prize donors, graduands, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends all. As principal of the Hugh Wooding Law School, it is my honor and pleasure to stand before you today in the year of the Hugh Wooding Law School's Golden Jubilee to extend our congratulations to the class of 2023. With your indulgence, I would like to say a little about our 50th anniversary, and I would also like to impart a few words of guidance to this graduating class. What is the Hugh Wooding Law School? Some may say it is a beautiful building with the well-manicured lawns on Gordon Street in St. Augustine. Others, and I'm sure the graduates are among them, may say that it was the most two difficult years of their lives. For us, the Hugh Wooding Law School is its people, our committed and talented staff, and help the students to navigate the use of the library's hard copy collection as well as its online collection, ebooks, and other databases. These graduates benefited from both the online offerings in the last year of the pandemic and the in-person offerings in the last academic year. To ensure that the law school remains fit for purpose and operates efficiently, the Quality Assurance Department conducts surveys, focus groups, audits, and institutional research projects on all processes, procedures, and services of the law school. The Registrar's Department helped the graduates navigate all procedures from admission to graduation and made the arrangements with various providers for professional counseling, medical services, and assistance throughout the two-year period. Students in need were awarded bursaries and, in some instances, food cards for local supermarkets, as well as chits for our in-house cafeteria. That department also provided a working shuttle service and proper security at all times. The groundsmen and maintenance crew ensured a clean and safe environment for all. Finally, the law school would be nothing without its students. They were ably represented throughout the year by the executive of the Student Representative Association, under the presidency of Ms. Chelsea Nanlal and vice presidency of Mr. Shiva Baliram. All of the committee chairs, including jurisdictional committee chairs, who contributed to the student experience. They planned many events so that students were aware that the law school experience was not just about learning knowledge and acquiring skills, but was also about developing social skills. The events throughout the year included hikes, picnics, workshops, mooting, mentorship, yoga, cocktail parties, and in one instance, I gather the students were transported to Paris for a cocktail party. There were various island nights and other activities. Together with the law school, they hosted a Christmas luncheon for those regional students who opted to remain in Trinidad and Tobago during the Christmas break. The student experience was complete with these events. For our 50th anniversary, we have decided to honor our past, celebrate our achievements, and embrace our future. What is our past and how should it be honored? As graduates of this esteemed institution, you must always remember that you are standing on the shoulders of those who came before you, those who entered the law school in 1973, the pioneers, the adventurers, the daring. And quite a number of those persons are still with us today. The guest speaker for this ceremony, Mr. Justin Simon, King's Counsel, former Attorney General of Antigua and Barbuda, and a former member of council, is a member of the first graduating class. In 1975, Sir William Douglas, chairman of the Council of Legal Education, had this to say to that graduating class of Hugh Law School. The practice of law is always changing. It must change to keep abreast of the social and technical forces in society and in government which shape our countries. We in the Council of Legal Education believe that our graduates will practice law more intelligently and lead their communities more responsibly because they have had an insight into the continuous impact of social changes in the law, and in turn on the impact of law on social behavior. 50 years later, the same is applicable. We expect these graduates to become leaders in their communities who are mindful of the needs of their socio-economic environment. We expect that they will become attorneys at law who will conduct themselves in a manner that honors the illustrious jurist whose name the law school bears, the late Sir Hugh Oliver Beresford Wooding, QC, OBE. Sir Hugh was one of the pioneers and founding fathers of the West Indian system of legal education, from which we have all benefited. Emulate his career, his high professional standards, his phenomenal success, and professional achievements as you navigate the waters of your legal career. What are some of the achievements we celebrate? Well, I can go on and on about our many achievements, but you may be relieved to hear that I will give some highlights only. The Hugh Wooding Law School has produced leaders across the region and internationally. Our graduates include 4 judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, including the President, the Chief Justices of Belize, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Chancellor of the Judiciary of Guyana, judges and other judicial officers of the OECS, Barbados, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, and Belize, the Attorneys General of Barbados, Guyana, Dominica, Grenada, and Trinidad and Tobago, the Prime Minister of Grenada and 2 former Prime Ministers of Barbados, as well as the first female Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the first female President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the Republic of Barbados, 3 judges of the International Criminal Court in The Hague, parliamentarians across the region, and some of the best practitioners and academics in the region. We have a lot to be proud of. And as the young people would say, Hugh Wooding don't play. Our students have also excelled regionally and internationally over the years in mooting and mediation competitions. We are the holders of 2 shields in the Margaret Fort Regional Moot Court competition. And the shield is awarded to the law school with the most wins recorded on it. In addition to the regional competition, in the pre-pandemic years, the law school participated in the ICC mediation competitions held in various countries around the world, the Stetson Environmental Law Moot in Florida, the University of Leiden Children's Moot competition in the Netherlands, a Commonwealth Law Moot, and the Monroe E. Price Media Law Moot in Oxford. Again, we chant, Hugh Wooding don't play. This year, Team Hugh Wooding, comprising Nicholas Sant, Nikhil Sanchez, Tariq Smith, and Tyreek Davis, placed second in the Margaret Fort Regional Moot Court competition. The team of Chelsea Lawrence, Andesi Thomas, and Dominic D'Souza, Year 1 students, placed second in the Lex Caribbean Client interviewing competition. In addition, Brandon Ragunanan and Kayla King James won the Criminal Law Moot. Brandon Ragunanan, Akeem Lopez, and Sophia Mohammed won the Hamel-Smith Appellate Moot. Davy Ramnarine, Akinola Goodridge, and Amoy Gilding-Bourne represented us ably in the CCJ 13th Annual International Law Moot. And I've mentioned these team members by name because it takes tremendous effort and sacrifice to prepare for these competitions, sometimes putting class preparation time and assignments at risk. Congratulations to all of the teams and their coaches, and thank you for so ably representing the Hugh Wooding Law School. Having honored the past and celebrated our achievements, it is time for these graduates now to embrace the future. Our graduates have accomplished a great milestone in receiving the legal education certificate through their diligence, determination, and commitment. At this point, I must recognize Ms. Shakira Antaj Cave, Ria Harris, Joshana Hopkinson, Akita Kingston, and Angelina Ramlal, our Certificate of Merit awardees, which is the highest award given by the Council of Legal Education. On receiving the certificate, you may feel the journey to this point has ended, and in the words of Asoka Ba, the party done. Well, you are now beginning the journey. The best, most difficult, most rewarding part is yet to come. And again, according to Asoka Ba, the jamming now start. So I urge you to continue to be passionate about learning and continue to be the best versions of yourselves. If you need help, ask for it. There is no shame in asking for help. A career in law gives you a very unique role in society. Be honest, uphold the law, and maintain justice. Warren Buffett said that there are 3 things to look for in a person when you're hiring: intelligence, energy, and integrity. And if the person does not have integrity, do not even bother to look for the other 2. So be ethical in your actions and never compromise your integrity. I would like to congratulate you on your success and to wish you all the best in whatever the future holds. Work hard, work smart, and always strive for excellence. You will soar and rise to the top as so many have done before you. Make your mark, albeit a positive one in society. And before I close, I must thank all of our prize donors whose prizes are awarded to students who excel throughout the year, and to the various governments whose contribution to the economic cost assists our students in completing their legal career. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Principal. At this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I invite to the podium the Registrar of the Hugh Wooding Law School, Ms. Amali Carter, for the presentation of graduates.
Madam Chairman, I present these persons who, through a course of study and by examinations, continuous assessment, and practical training, have satisfied the requirements for the award of the Legal Education Certificate. Certificate of Merit. The following persons have maintained A grades in at least 9 of their 11 courses over their 2 years of study. Rhea Harris. Ms. Harris has also been awarded the Book Specialist Prize for Best Overall Performance, Academic and Extracurricular Activities, and the second outstanding Year 2 student. She also received the Mediation Board of Trinidad and Tobago Prize, Excellence in Mediation Studies. Joshana Hopkinson. Ms. Hopkinson also receives the Council Prize for the Most Outstanding Student over 2 years and the Guyana Government Prize for Best Performance by a student from Guyana. Akita Kingston. Ms. Kingston has also been awarded the Council's Prize for Most Outstanding Year 2 student, the Chairman's Prize for Evidence and Forensic Medicine, Law of Remedies and Civil Procedure and Practice 2, the Fitzwilliam Stone Furnace Smith and Morgan Prize for Best Performance in Civil Procedure and Practice 2, the Book Specialist Prize for Most Outstanding Year 2 student, the Cameron and Shepherd Prize for Best Performance in Civil Procedure and Practice 1 and Civil Procedure and Practice 2 by a Guyanese student, the Chief Justice Ian N. Chang Memorial Prize for Best Performance in Civil Procedure and Practice, and the Punai Prize for Best Performance in Roman Dutch Conveyancing. Angelina Ramlal. Ms. Ramlal has also been awarded the Anand Ramlogan SC Prize for Best Performance by a student from Trinidad and Tobago, and the Edward Albert Collier Prize for Excellence in Conveyancing and Registration of Title by a student from Trinidad and Tobago. The Principal's Roll of Honor. The following persons have demonstrated excellence by attaining A grades in at least 6 of their 11 courses over their 2 years of study. Faith Beckles. Akila Best. Tara Devines. Akash Hero. Chanel Hyacinth. Ms. Hyacinth has also been awarded the Grenada Bar Association Award for Excellence, Best Performance by a student from Grenada. Alkatz Joseph. Michaela Miguel. Ms. Miguel has also been awarded the R. Andrew Cummings QC Prize, Best Performance by a Student from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Aaron Morales. Ashley Motilal. Samantha Oliver. Amanda Perry, Sandhya Rambaran, Sandhya Rambaran. Ramkumari Ramdas. Devi Ramnarayan. Ms. Ramnarayan has also been awarded the Council's Prize and the Keith Stobian Memorial Prize for demonstration of leadership and initiative. Ms. Ramnarayan also shared in the Caribbean Court of Justice International Law Moot Competition Prize and the American Caribbean Law Initiative Prize, ACLI. Olive Stevenson Clark. Ms. Stevenson Clark has been awarded the Course Director's Prize in Probate Practice and Procedure for Best Performance in Probate Practice and Procedure. The following persons completed the academic requirements for the award of the Legal Education Certificate. Wayne Abbott. Sarah Abdul. Nalisha Adams. Marie-Claude Alexander. Sasha Ali. Samir Ali. Emerald Alves. Vanessa Andrews. Ariel Archibald. Avin Badri Maraj. Tracy Baichan. Anasha Bakch. Shiva Baliram. Herschel Barker. Zoan Barlow. Oinola Barrow. Ashray Batson. Kelly Bihari, Christopher Belfield. Mr. Belfield also shares in the prize of the Ifoma Soyinka Prize for a demonstration of civic engagement. Hadia Benjamin. Candace Bernard. Shanice Besson. Reshma Bharat. Kellyanne Blackman. Naturi Bob. Mia Braffett. Janelle Brewster. Paula Brewster. Hema Cassie. Christian Chandler. Jerome Charles. Precious Charles. Aaron Chunising. Sean Codrington. Kaylee Daniel. Kamla David. Karina David. Tyreek Davis. Mr. Davis shared in the Robert Matthew Salia Memorial Prize for Best Performance in Trial Advocacy, the Principal's Award for Advocacy, and the Justice Wendell Kangaloo Memorial Prize for Best Advocate, and the Margaret Fort Interlaw Schools Mooting Competition. Special Dazzle. Daryl D'Souza. Dana Dare, Ovani Debadine, Brianna Deonarine, Ishara Deopasad, Suwan Deosaran, Makeda Derek, Anna Olivia Davinish, Vashni Dipchan, Alexander Dolsing, Padma Dubraj, Tania Elliott, Victor Furman, Adam Fernandez, Melin Findley Solners, Kevon Forbes, Kenneth Fortuné. Mr. Fortuné has also received the Justice Sandra Paul Alternative Dispute Resolution Prize for the student that best mastered the concepts and techniques of the ADR process. Alyssa Francis, Solange Francis, Chelsea Fraser, Rachel Fraser, Samantha Frost, Errol Gaskin, Shalini Gaya, and Emma George.
Thank you very much, Registrar. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point we take a break in the presentation of graduates, and we present an item that is indeed a treat every year that we have the graduation ceremony. This year is no different. Led by choir master Mrs. Nalini Prasad Salik, we have this evening the Hugh Law School Choir. However, this evening it's very special. 10 of the 12 members of this choir are persons who have already graduated and have been called to the bar to practice. However, they were students who attended the law school during the pandemic when we were not able to have a physical graduation. So joining us and they being on the stage for the first time in a graduation ceremony are 10 of the 12 members of the Hugh Law School Choir. So please give them a round of welcome, a warm round of applause as the Hugh Law School Choir presents. Thank you very much. Members of the choir of the Hugh Law School, please put your hands together once more.
You mean his speech?
To quote another soca bad, we jamming still. We will now have the resumption of the presentation of graduates by the registrar.
Madam Chairman, the following persons completed the academic requirements for the award of the Legal Education Certificate. Donnell Giddings. Ms. Giddings has been awarded the following prize, the Justice Ronnie Budusing Human Rights Law Clinic Prize for Best Performance in Human Rights Law Clinic. Amoy Gildingborn. Ms. Gildingborn shared in the prize for the Caribbean Court of Justice International Law Moot Competition, the American Caribbean Law Initiative Prize, ACLI, and the former Soyinka Prize for Civic Engagement. Akinola Goodridge. Mr. Goodridge shared in the Caribbean Court of Justice International Law Moot Competition and the American Caribbean Law Initiatives Prize. Megan Gopal Singh. Jada Gordon. Sherivon Graham Moore, Sherivon Graham Moore. Joel Green. Subhash Hansraj. Roshad Haricharan. Rihanna Harry. Daron Hiralal. Nakeya Hanville. Tanel Hills. Courtney Holder. Omar Hopi. Barbara Eiffel. Andre Jagnandan. Sorry. Cassandra Jaikaran. Ms. Jaikaran was also awarded the Miles Grave Fitzpatrick SC Prize for Best Performance in Legal Aid by a Guyanese graduating student. Marianne Jamuna. Dalan Joe Lewis. Renelle Johnson. Hannah Jones. Jaluk Julian. Melissa Jupiter. Kayla King James. Ms. King James shared in the Criminal Law Moot Competition Prize. Krishna Krishnan. Chantal Lake. Akeem Lopez. Mr. Lopez shared in the Hamel-Smith Appellate Mooting Competition Prize. Khalifa Lovelace. Tyrell Mahavia. Amanda Mahabir Singh. Nirupa Mahadev. Shania Maharaj. Anuradha Manak. Abigail Manbod. Ciara Majat Singh. Phoenix Mark. Ms. Mark shared in the Council's Prize for Most Outstanding Student in the Legal Aid Clinic. Mia Maskell. Amanda Mitchell. Malena Muhammad. Nishad Mohammed. Raisa Mohammed. Safia Mohammed. Ms. Mohammed shared the Hammersmith Appellate Mooting Competition Prize. Shania Mohammed. Tariq Mohammed. Adrian Moreno. Tashal Morris. Denasha Monroe. Chelsea Nandlal. Dariel Neptune. Ms. Neptune shared in the American Caribbean Law Initiative Prize, ACLI. Chanel Noel. Kaside Nurse. Sophia Omawale Lewis. Nika Onua. Nicholas Passad. Meshawn Passad. Shania Passad. Dushanique Peters. Candicia Plas. Ariel Palayo. Melissa Prime. Brandon Ragunanan. Mr. Ragunanan has also been awarded the Trinidad and Tobago Law Association Prize for the student who showed the most dedication in the legal aid clinic. Mr. Ragunanan also shared in the Hammersmith Appellate Mooting Competition, the American Caribbean Law Initiative Prize, ACLI, and the Caribbean Law Moot Competition Prizes. Anju Ramkisoon. Liana Ramkisoon. Alvaro Ramuta. Annalisa Ramsaran. Chanel Reyes. Jerome Richardson. Jerome Richardson. Michael Rivera. Adam Roberts. Jermaine Roberts. Jerissa Rodney. Letitia Samaru. Nahanda Samuel. Nikhil Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez shared in the Robert Mathau Celia Memorial Prize for Best Performance in Trial Advocacy, the Principal's Award for Advocacy for members of the mooting team for the law school in the annual Margaret Fort Memorial Mooting Competition. Sean Sanchez. Nicholas Sant. Mr. Sant also shared the Robert Mathau Celia Memorial Prize for Best Performance in Trial Advocacy, the Principal's Award for Advocacy for members of the mooting team for the law school in the annual Margaret Fort Memorial Mooting Competition, and the Justice Wendell Kangaloo Memorial Prize for Best Advocate, and the Margaret Fort Interlaw Schools Mooting Competition. Mikhail So. Renee Scotland. Kimberly Singh. Simone Singh. Abigail Sisnat. Anthea Smith. Melissa Smith. Ms. Smith has been awarded the Dr. Claude Denbo SC Prize for Best Performance in Civil Procedure and Practice 2, Corporate Practice. Tarek Smith. Mr. Smith has shared in the Robert Matthew Salier Memorial Prize for Best Performance in Trial Advocacy and the Principal's Award for Advocacy for members of the mooting team for the law school in the annual Margaret Fort mooting competition. Candace Solomon. Mohani Sudama. Malcolm Superville. Mr. Superville also shared in the American Caribbean Law Initiative Prize, ACLI. Adia Tilak Singh. Raven Tyson Edwards. Renee Umaid. Sharon Van Ganderen Stanton. Joy Williams. Lamar Williams. Jamari Wilson. And Leanne Young. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Madam Registrar, and congratulations to all of our graduates. At this juncture, we would now invite the Chairman of the Council of Legal Education, Ms. Lizelle Weeks, to introduce our featured speaker.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. I'm going to defer to my senior, who is the Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, and who is a little bit more intimately familiar with our featured speaker, and he is going to move the welcome and introduction of Mr. Justin Simon, KC. AG.
Thank you very much for this privilege and honor, Chair. Graduates, judges, parents, distinguished friends and family of the graduates and members of the Council of Legal Education. It's a rare privilege and an honor for me to introduce Mr. Justin Simon, King's Counsel, who I will not tell the tales on to tell you how long I've known him and how much regard I hold him in, except to say in these few brief words. Justin Simon is one of the proud, stellar champions of the Council of Legal Education. He has had a very active practice at the private bar in Dominica, Antigua, and Barbuda, and held the torch to become singularly a practitioner out of Dominica, to become Attorney General of the Twin Island independent country of Antigua and Barbuda, not just because he is regarded in the highest esteem as an attorney at law, but also because of his forthright integrity and dignity as an attorney at law. It is my privilege and my honor to introduce Justin Simon, King's Counsel.
Madam Chair, Honorable Attorney General, Madam Principal of the Law School, distinguished guests, and graduates. Before I begin my address, I invite you to stand and bow your heads with me as we pay tribute to and recognize in honor those among the first cohort of students at the Hugh Wooding Law School who have since passed away to the great beyond. From St. Kitts and Nevis, Sir Tapley Wentworth Seton, QC, who served as Attorney General and latterly as Governor General. From Antigua and Barbuda, Conrad Richards, who served as Ambassador to Canada. From the Commonwealth of Dominica, Isaiah Thomas, who served as Minister of Education, and Evelina Grell de Freitas. From St. Lucia, Hilford de Turville, QC, who served as the President of the Senate. From St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Parnell R. Campbell, QC, who served as Attorney General, and Andrew Cummings, QC. From Barbados, Melvin Atwell and Haynes Blackman, both of whom served as magistrates. From Trinidad and Tobago, Keith Sobian, QC, who served as Attorney General and the Principal of the Norman Manley Law School. Gordon Lamming, Kenneth Segar, Kamini Gopi Singh, and Kenny Prasad. And I respectfully wish to mention, in memoriam, Mr. Justice Henry Aubrey Fraser, who passed away in November 1988, former High Court Judge and Justice of Appeal in Trinidad and Tobago, who held the office of Director of Legal Education and was the first principal of the Norman Manley Law School. And finally, Dr. Sir Fenton Ramsahoy, Senior Counsel, who passed away in December 2018, the first local Attorney General of the Republic of Guyana, who held the office of Deputy Director of Legal Education and was the first principal of the Huding Law School. Thank you all. You may now be seated. Madam Chair, Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Reginald Armour, SC, Honorable Judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago, senior government officials, Ms. Sherma Dalrymple, Director of Public Prosecutions of Dominica, Masters of the High Court, magistrates, Ms. Lionel Weeks, Senior Counsel, Chairman of the Council of Legal Education, Mrs. Tonia Bastian Gilanis, Principal of the Eugene Dupuy Law School, Ms. Carol Aina, Principal of the Norman Manley Law School, Ms. Miriam Sumara, Principal of the Hugh Wooding Law School, staff of the Hugh Wooding Law School, associate tutors of the law school, prize donors, graduates, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends all. Full well I remember that 50 years ago in 1973, our UWI Law Faculty graduation ceremony was held here in Trinidad at the St. Augustine campus and marked the inauguration of the Hugh Wooding Law School. Our special guest on that occasion was the then Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Michael Manley, one of my 4 Caribbean political heroes of yesteryear. He delivered the presentation address in his usual astute and inspirational manner. I pause here to indicate that I lack the ability to walk in the honorable gentleman's footsteps, even after 50 years of legal and political exposure. But I will seek to use this opportunity graciously afforded me by the Council of Legal Education to share with you my firm belief that you can be and ought to be agents of change for a progressive and developing legal and political ethos within our Caribbean community, from Belize in the south to the Bahamas in the north. As law graduates, you are now poised to begin the first chapter of your odyssey, your long, eventful, and adventurous journey through the never-ending corridors of legislative enactments and judicial decisions, whilst making time for social interaction and parental duties. You will be facing challenges whilst weathering the storm of disappointments and enjoying the heights of achievements as you set your goal and stay focused with, I sincerely hope, abundant faith in yourself. For many of us who began that journey 50 years ago, it was not easy. Fresh from our summer vacation, following the completion of our LLB sojourn at the Caville campus in Barbados, 34 of us arrived here in Trinidad and Tobago to begin our 2-year trek in St. Augustine at the Hugh Wooding Law School. Did I say 34? As compared to the number of graduates this year. These were challenging but exciting times under the general administrative direction of Dr. Fenton Ramsohoy, the principal. He who organized a formal dinner, social, and warned me that if I did not dance with the judges' wives, he would, at the end of the term, dance with my papers. For good measure, I should add that my first appearance before the Privy Council was as Dr. Ramsohoy's junior in December of 1992. An appeal from the Court of Appeal in Antigua and Barbuda, challenging the right of the Privy Council to grant special leave to matters coming from the Industrial Court, where the Court of Appeal had held that industrial court matters were not civil proceedings. I remember that occasion because of two particular significant happenings. As I walked into the chamber where the law lords were sitting, I bowed my head and my wig fell. Thankfully, I caught it in time, but I had borrowed it from a friend whose head was clearly bigger than mine. Dr. Ramsoy, having delivered his submissions, the president of the Law Lords then said, "Junior counsel, do you have anything to say?" And I got up and said, "No, thank you." Well, at the end of the session, Dr. Ramsoy was not a happy person. And he said to me, "Do you think that you were being invited for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What you do on such occasions is to get up, bow, and say, 'I have nothing constructive to add, my lords.'" Notwithstanding our challenges, we persevered dutifully, attending classes and High Court hearings in Port of Spain. But finding the time to participate in carnival celebrations in February, Diwali Hindu Festival of Lights in October, and lovely Parang at Christmas. In fact, whilst I returned to my homeland, Dominica, every Christmas holiday, the Parang in Trinidad, I couldn't leave. That's how lovely it was, and I'm sure that you must have experienced the same. We often held caucuses on many substantial and procedural legal issues, and resolved in one instance to seek the abolition of the wigs as part of our formal court dress. I recall attending the Antigua and Barbuda Bar Association executive meeting, at which the issue of the continuing use of wigs was tabled for discussion. And when asked my opinion, I indicated, to the amazement of all, that I had no problems with the use of wigs. Of course, I continued in the deafening silence that followed. "You must be referring to Afro wigs." I was ordered by the President, Queen's Counsel, to immediately leave the meeting. But in the end, our student-held views prevailed, and the wearing of wigs became optional. I am proud to inform you that from among the first cohort of graduates, we have had attorneys general appointed in St. Kitts and Nevis, in Antigua and Barbuda, in the Commonwealth of Dominica, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in Grenada, and in Trinidad and Tobago. One of our stalwarts, Sir Samuel Weymouth Tapley Sitten of blessed memory, served as the 4th Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis from September 1, 2015 until January 31, 2023. And another stalwart in Barbados, Dame Sandra Prunella Macy, who was appointed the 8th Governor General on January 8, 2018, is currently serving as the country's first president as of November 30th, 2021, when that country transitioned to a republic within the British Commonwealth of Nations. Dear graduates, I wish today to impress upon you that simultaneously with your own personal development, there is the need for the development of our Caribbean society. Law is a common aspect of everyday life, but it also should be seen as a social institution, a practical resource, and a mechanism for handling a wide range of social issues, problems, and conflicts, while addressing the aspirations of us as a people. Your study and knowledge of law will allow you to better appreciate the relationship with our social structures, our social institutions, our culture, our ideologies, and our values. You must therefore see yourselves as agents or institutions of change. Your role as students may have been limited to personal development. But as you go out into the wider world as attorneys at law, additionally, you must be concerned in respect of the development and reform of our constitutional framework as independent states. One such area of concern should be our continued adherence as independent states to the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council as our final court of appeal. I remind you that on February 14th, 2001, 11 Caribbean states signed the agreement for the establishment of the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ. And in the preamble to that agreement, declared that they were, and I quote, convinced that the Caribbean Court of Justice, hereinafter referred to as the court, will have a determinative role in the further development of Caribbean jurisprudence through the judicial process, unquote. Whilst all the Caribbean states have acceded to the original jurisdiction of the CCJ as the final arbiter on the interpretation and application of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which advances the cause of the CARICOM single market and economy, only 4 of the states to date have acceded to its appellate jurisdiction and have delinked with the Privy Council. They have, by that course of action, improved their citizens' access to justice, and in the process are developing a distinctively Caribbean jurisprudence. The 4 states are Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and Guyana. The imposition in the majority of our constitutions by our colonial masters of the need for a referendum to replace the Privy Council as our final appellate court has to date made our accession to the Privy Council, to the CCJ, an almost impossible proposition. St. Vincent and the Grenadines failed in November 2009. Grenada failed in November 2018 and again. Grenada failed in November 2016 and again in November 2018 with a voter turnout of 28%. Antigua and Barbuda failed in 2018 with a voter turnout of 33.5%. In none of these three countries was there ever a simple majority in favor of the CCJ, let alone the 2/3 majority required by the respective constitutions. There is no doubt in my mind that our now ingrained culture of political tribalism has contributed to the failure of these referenda. Our political parties, when not in government, and I hesitate to use the word power, which they love to say, seem to have only one aim, that is, to put out the government by opposing every government proposal, even if it is in the best interest of the country. And that in turn has created and fostered a divisive populace. You, as young, educated, exposed, and aspiring leaders, needed to play your part in seeking and effecting that much needed change. Consider it your duty to inform and educate the public whenever that issue arises. I pray that you let your voices be heard. The renowned Jamaica Attorney at Law, Lloyd G. Barnett, O.J. King's Counsel, has opined in addressing a 2015 law conference held in Jamaica that against our historical background of slavery and colonial domination, it is surprising that when the former British colonies of the Caribbean emerged from their colonial status, they selected to retain the Privy Council as their final appellate court. In his address, he continued, and I quote, "While it is true that in the last century, the Privy Council in its reformed judicial manifestation has provided high-quality judicial service to the Caribbean members of the Commonwealth, it is remarkable that unlike the vast majority of former colonies, having less historical justification, we have, to a large extent, insisted on clinging to its overreaching jurisdiction." End of quote. We must all unite in fraternal sisterhood and brotherhood to make that change. It will not be an easy task, given prevailing circumstances, but we must, from time to time, remind ourselves of the stated vision of the Caribbean Court of Justice. And I quote, "To provide for the Caribbean community an accessible, fair, efficient, innovative, and impartial judicial system built on a jurisprudence reflective of our history, values, and traditions, while maintaining an inspirational independent institution worthy of emulation by the courts of the region and the trust and confidence of its people." Unquote. It is therefore important to note that the integrity of the CCJ and its insulation from political interference or influence are, in my view, guaranteed by 5 main characteristics which are contained in its incorporating agreement, which in turn is to be entrenched in our respective state constitutions following a yes vote at a referendum. Firstly, the high qualification criteria required for appointment to hold office as CCJ judges. Secondly, that the appointment and removal process is placed in the hands of an 11-member Regional Judicial and Legal Services Commission comprising of persons nominated by legal and quasi-judicial bodies across the length and breadth of the Caribbean. Thirdly, that the judges enjoy security of tenure up to the mandatory retirement age of 75 years. Fourthly, the requirement that legislation is to be passed by each state for the purpose of ensuring that any judgment, decree, order, or sentence of the CCJ shall be enforced by local courts and authorities. And fifthly, very importantly, the financial provision for funding the court by an independently run trust fund. That was a first in national and international judicial circles. Finally, I caution you that your aims, goals, and visions will not be shared by all. You may be criticized and ridiculed for your efforts, and obstacles will be placed in your chosen paths, even by those who stand to benefit by your efforts and your actions. But I strongly urge you to take comfort, as I currently do, in the immortal opening words of Charles Dickens, the English novelist, in his novel, A Tale of Two Cities, as he described the world of conflicting aspirations around him. You too will find yourselves within that conflicting aspirations of our Caribbean society. And I quote, "It is the best of times, it is the worst of times. It is the age of wisdom, it is the age of foolishness. It is the epoch of belief, it is the epoch of incredulity. It is the season of light, it is the season of darkness. It is the spring of hope, it is the winter of despair. We have everything before us, yet nothing before us. But it is high time that we pursue that laudable aim of ensuring that the Caribbean Court of Justice, our own indigenous institution, becomes, in every one of our states, the final appellate court, thereby debunking, abolishing the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council. I thank you most humbly for giving me your attention, and I urge you to be courageous and keep faith with yourself as you continue your legal education, because it is far from over. There is a lot for you to learn as you enter into the arena of legal battle. But it's important that you commit yourself to the challenges that lie ahead as you seek to shape our legal institutions and our respective Caribbean societies for the enduring good of all. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Justin Simon, King's Counsel. We will now have the response delivered by a member of the graduating class, Ms. Rhea Harris. Please give her a warm welcome.
That was a long walk. Honorable Reginald Armour, Senior Counsel, Attorney General, and Minister of Legal Affairs, Honorable Judges of the Caribbean Court of Justice, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court of Trinidad and Tobago, Senior Government Officials, Mr. Justice Simon, King's Counsel, former Attorney General of Antigua and Barbuda, and our distinguished feature speaker, Ms. Sherman Dalrymple, Director of Public Prosecutions of Dominica, Masters of the High Court, Magistrates, Ms. Lizelle Weeks, Senior Counsel and Chairman of the Council of Legal Education, Mrs. Tanya Galanis, Principal of the Eugene Dupuch Law School, Ms. Carol Aina, Principal of the Norman Manley Law School, Ms. Miriam Samaru, Principal of the Hewitting Law School, Madam Registrar, Course Directors, and Associate Tutors and staff of the Hewitting Law School, prize donors, distinguished graduates of the Hewitting Law School class of 2023, ladies and gentlemen, friends all, a pleasant good evening. Today, we celebrate the culmination of hard work and persistence of our graduates. It would, however, be remiss of me not to mention that we also celebrate 50 years of the Hewitting Law School. That is, 50 years of producing brilliant legal minds, some of whom are with us here this evening, and enhancing the practice of law in the Caribbean through exemplary tutelage and by empowering students to develop our Caribbean region. It is truly an honor and a privilege to give this address this evening. First and foremost, I must thank you, Mr. Simon, King's Counsel, for your inspirational and captivating words this evening. It is what a pleasure it is for us, the class of 2023, to be graced with your presence, a member of the class of 1973. It seems as if we've gone full circle. I appreciate, as I am sure my fellow graduates do, your recognition of those who came before us but who are no longer with us. It is because of them that we are here. We stand on their shoulders. I also appreciate, as does the class of 2023, your recognition of other brilliant legal minds in the Commonwealth Caribbean. It goes to show what we can do as attorneys. We also appreciate your shared experiences, and we know now not to borrow any wigs from our friends. We will, as you have indicated, balance our work life with our family life. We will use the law as a social institution and a mechanism to handle the social plights in the Caribbean that are unique to us as Caribbean territory. And as we go out, we will be concerned with the constitutional frameworks that make up each of our territories. We will let our voices be heard. We will unite as brothers and sisters to effect changes and to advocate for many things, including the introduction of the CCJ in other sister CARICOM states. We thank you, Mr. Simon, for this address. Class of 2023, arguably the best class to date. Let me say, congratulations. We made it. And as I say this, tears well in my eyes, but it's not tears of sadness, but tears of joy. And this great feeling of happiness comes from my appreciation of how hard we have all worked to be here today, dressed in our very best and very clearly supported by many. I like to say that the class of 2023 is unique in the sense that we were able to experience both online and in-person classes. We began this journey to the legal education certificate in 2021, completely virtual. Fortunately, we were able to do this in the comfort of our homes. Unfortunately, when I say the words robust and comprehensive, you each know the trauma associated with that. Yet we persisted. In our second and final year, we experienced that momentous shift back to in-person classes. The campus buzzed with laughter and excitement, at least for like the first day. That was quickly replaced with complaining about tutorials, what is a completion document, and trying to figure out why we, law students, need to learn math. I suspect somewhere at this point, the friendly faces at the Branford Wellness Center saw an influx of Hugh Law School students. However, as much as we complained, experiencing that in-person version of the law school was vastly different from online classes. Although we could no longer blame poor connections for not answering a question, or hide behind the camera so we don't have to volunteer, or pretend to freeze during a class, we were able to benefit from the diversity and inclusion present at the law school. We were also able to take that long 12-hour flight to Paris. We experienced various jurisdiction nights, and with no bias, please allow me to give a special shout out to the Guyana Night celebration. We went to beaches, we hiked uphill, swam downstream, for those of us who can swim, participated in table tennis tournaments and sports. We celebrated Christmas together. We welcomed Carnival home, but above all, we were able to form among ourselves an unbreakable bond. And at this point, I find it apt to quote the President of the Caribbean Court of Justice, the Honorable Mr. Justice Saunders, in the infamous case of McEwen versus the Attorney General of Guyana and others. He said, "Difference is as natural as breeding. Infinite varieties exist of everything under the sun." This is indeed true, and it is because of the truth of this statement, it is particularly admirable that as a student body, we have recognized the value of working together and improving regional integration, despite our differences. After all, we are stronger together. And so it is for this reason that if you call it chicken curry or curry chicken, what matters is that we are eating at the same table. And even if Guyana Amazon Warriors wins tonight, we will still maintain our bond as a student body, cherishing every memory that we have made together. So class of 2023, as we take the next steps in our career, may we harness the skills that we have gathered both at the Hugh Law School and outside to represent our clients to the best of our abilities. May we always remember to conduct ourselves in a manner that promotes public confidence in the legal profession. May we always discharge our duties to the courts, our clients, our fellow legal professionals, and the public with honesty, honor, and reliability. Mrs. Budu Singh, that was especially for you. Our successful completion of this journey is indeed a victory to be celebrated, as it is a representation of how hard work and diligence pays off. However, as the saying goes, no man is an island. And so we must take time to thank those who made this celebration possible. We thank God for his continued guidance and protection throughout our 2 years. We must also thank the Hugh Law School for facilitating us during our journey. Thank you to the Honorable Principal, who maintains an open door policy and always lends a listening ear. Senior members of staff, our driven, brilliant, and industrious tutors, members of the administrative staff who always facilitate us, the library staff for tolerating our endless requests, shuttle drivers who have taken care of us as though we are their children, and all other members of staff. The Hugh Law School is the epitome of a world-leading center of academic excellence, and may the next 50 years be just as, and perhaps if possible, even more fruitful. To the Student Representative Council, the Guyana Jurisdiction Committee, Barbados Jurisdiction Committee, and the OECS Jurisdiction Committee, thank you for keeping us entertained and representing our cause so well. To our parents, siblings, spouses, relatives, and friends, thank you for the countless sacrifices that you have made in order to ensure that we could be here today. This celebration is as much yours as it is ours. And finally, thank you to my fellow classmates. Sometimes the struggle we face as students can only be understood by fellow students. May our bond remain as strong as ever, and may we always remember how we would have helped each other climb this ladder. Class of 2023, it has been a pleasure and an honor. As the curtain closes on this, our academic journey to the Legal Education Certificate, may you add this qualification to your toolkit and utilize it to effect positive changes in the law and legal systems of the Caribbean. I have no doubt in my mind that each and every one of us is capable of enhancing the regional jurisprudence of the Caribbean region, and I am excited to see the direction each of you steer your ship next. I am also excited to be able to call you from Guyana for a precedent, and to some years down the line, tell everyone, I was in the class with the AG of Trinidad and Tobago. I wish you all many successes ahead, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Harris. I now invite the Chairman of the Council of Legal Education to the podium.
All right, thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, and this is the last time that you're going to see me for this evening. I want to thank Ms. Harris, and I want something she said resonated with me, and I want you to carry it with you, and that is that this institution facilitates a bond across this region that no other does, and that is because once upon a time it used to happen at the University of the West Indies, but it doesn't anymore. And Ms. Harris could count on the fact that she will know in the future the President, the Attorney General, a Governor General, or someone who sat next to her in class. And that is facilitated by institutions such as the Council's institutions, Hugh Law School, the Eugene DePuche Law School to a less extent, and the Norman Manley Law School. So I want you to hold on to those relationships. They're very important. And I rely on those relationships now. How many ever years? Yeah, just a couple of years ago, but I still rely on them. And Mr. Simon relies on his, I'm certain. And it's useful. And the only other thing I wanted to say in relation to what was said by Mr. Simon in his very insightful presentation is that I would want to implore you to learn a little bit about the CCJ so that when you advocate for it, you know exactly what you're advocating for. It is the culmination of our Caribbean identities as legal professionals. And so we need to push in that direction. And on that note, I'm not going to stand between you and your celebrations any further, except to say that I want you to join with me in congratulating Hugh Wooding on its 50th anniversary. So if you can just stand. And let's just have a really hearty round of applause for 50 years of excellence. And as we close this evening's proceedings, I just want to say to the graduates of the Hugh Wooding Law School 2023, welcome as members of and colleagues at bar shortly. Good evening, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd invite you now that the proceedings are closed to remain standing as the Chairman and her party takes their leave. Please also remain standing as our graduates would be taking their leave as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a privilege, it has been an honor as we've witnessed a very moving and wonderful graduation ceremony on this very auspicious occasion of the 50th anniversary celebration of the Hugh Wooding Law School. I thank you very much for your attention, and it is my wish that you journey to your respective destinations when you leave here safely. May God bless us all. Good evening all.